What's going on, everybody? Welcome to TMG Entertainment. I am Matt Beer, and today we're going to be reviewing the second episode of The Mandalorian. And I'll give you my quick thoughts on the first episode as well, because I did not make a video discussing that. Now, obviously, this show premiered on Tuesday when Disney Plus launched, and everybody was going crazy. Not right away, because nobody knew when it dropped, but when people figured out, oh, it's available to watch, Disney Plus is here, boom, people went nuts, and it caused the servers to crash. But for those, which I'm pretty sure is everybody by now, that got to watch The Mandalorian, it premiered on Tuesday, and it was directed by Dave Filoni. First time director in the live action world. He did a bunch of animated stuff like Rebels and Clone Wars, but he never directed a live action movie before. He is the protege of George Lucas. George Lucas loves this guy. He understands Star Wars so much, and I thought the first episode was really good, and the fact that it was his first time directing a live action thing is really good, especially in Star Wars, because it's not like Bradley Cooper directing a Star Wars. While that is very difficult, Star Wars is something different. You have to get in that world that was established by George Lucas beforehand. You have to have that feels to it, because if you don't have the feeling of it being in a Star Wars world, then you're going to have problems from fans. So I thought he did a really good job bringing us back into the world of Star Wars. My only complaint is that you could tell he was a first-time director. Watching this episode, some of the action sequences could have been shot just a little bit better, but for a first-time director, it was fantastic. I really like the Mandalorian character. From the opening sequence, you understand who this guy is and what he's about, and I really dug it. Taika Waititi, I really liked him too as IG-11 in this show. Werner Herzog, I really liked him too, and Nick Nolte in this show is phenomenal. I love him. He might be my favorite character in the show at this point. I really did dug him. He has a great catchphrase that is going to be used for a very long time. I have spoken is going to be said so much, and I don't think anybody's going to be able to deliver it as well as Nick Nolte can, because who can? It's his voice. His voice is amazing. But I really dug the episode, and we get to the very end, which sets up this episode in the entire season, and it's Baby Yoda. That's what they were after, Baby Yoda. So the Mandalorian kills IG-11 because IG-11 was going to kill Baby Yoda, and off they go on their adventure. Now, before I get into it, spoilers for episode 2. Big time spoilers. I'm going to be revealing some things in this. If you don't want to know, then go watch that episode and then come back and watch this reveal. And I will say, right off the bat, you could tell this was directed by somebody who has experience. The guy who directed Dope, Rick Iwo Jima, however you say his last name, I don't know. He was going to direct it as well before he dropped out because of creative differences, but he was going to direct it. So that could have been something different, because he wanted to go a different route with it. But anyway, we get to this episode. You can tell it's directed by somebody else, because right away we get the action sequence from those guys that were trying to kill the Mandalorian and IG-11 so they don't go after Baby Yoda. The fight was awesome to watch. It felt gritty. It felt real. I really dug it. So we open with that. Then we go on and we see, digging through his ship, because he's got to get to his ship to leave. They end up taking a bunch of things from him. It's Jawas. They steal from him. They take, ship parts that are going to make the ship fly, so they're stuck there. And that kind of sets the episode up as a whole, because the episode pretty much follows from then on. The Jawas, they're willing to give the stuff back, but they have to go and get an egg from this place in order for the Jawas to give their stuff back. And I really like the Jawas in this episode. I love the Jawas. If you're a kid and you watch Star Wars for the first time, you're going to love the Jawas no matter what. I thought they did a really good job incorporating them into this episode. Did they have to be in the episode? No, they didn't have to. But I thought they did a really good job with that. It was a really cool callback to the original trilogy. And it's cool that they're not, because really it's the original trilogy. That's all we see of them. I don't think we see them in episode 5 or 6. I believe it's just episode 4. So it's kind of cool we get to see them in this show as well. Like Salacious B. Crumb, his guy's the monkey lizard. So anyway, like I said, I love this episode. I absolutely love this episode. And I apologize. I am running on no sleep, so if I mess up my words, I do apologize. Or if I kind of blank on things. I love this episode, though. Like I said, I really like the relationship that the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda have. I thought that was a really good thing for this episode. And I think it's gonna be a strong point for the entire season as a whole. I think Baby Yoda is the cutest thing in the world. I want a Baby Yoda. I really hope they sell Baby Yodas at Galaxy's Edge, because I will buy 3 of them and they will be with me forever on my bed. But I just love this little guy. I love him so much. And there's something really cool that happens with him, as we see, because the Mandalorian, he's struggling with that rhino guy, because the rhino creature has the egg, and it's their egg, and that's what the Jawas want. So it looks like he might die, which we know he's not, but it looks like in that moment he could die. And we see Baby Yoda hold up his hand and stops the horse, kind of lifts him in the air, and guess what? Baby Yoda has the Force. Does that mean all these guys have the Force, or is this maybe Yoda's son? Is this a Yoda family member? I don't know. But he uses the Force, lifts up the rhino thingy-majig, and that was a big moment, because that made me go, whoa! Because I did not expect that to happen at all. I really didn't. I thought that was awesome to see. Other than that, there really isn't a whole lot to spoil. Like I said, we see Nick Nolte's character again. I don't remember his name, but he's in this episode, and he's awesome in the show. I really did dig him. I do like what they're doing with the character of the Mandalorian. This episode felt more smooth, and it gets me really excited for the next episode of the Mandalorian to see what they're going to give us. Technically, this episode didn't have a whole lot going on. It was a simple, they stole this from us, they're willing to give it back, but we have to take something for them. It was just one of those things. It was kind of like The Last Jedi in a way, because The Last Jedi is basically just a chase in space. So that's kind of what this was. Oh, look, there's a little floaty thingy that just kind of floated in the screen. It was kind of cool. Maybe Baby Yoda's over there. But while it didn't have a whole lot going on in the story of the episode, it did reveal things, and it was awesome. I loved it. I thought the action was great. There's this sequence where the Jawas are getting away, and as they're getting away on the giant thing, I'm blanking on the name, and I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I'm blanking on the name, but he's trying to get his stuff, and he's climbing on there. That was an intense sequence. That was a really well shot sequence. So there's scenes like that happen in the show. Obviously, the thing with the rhino, that was an awesome sequence. The very beginning was great. The humor in this episode, because there is some humor in it, it's really, really good. Overall, I think this is a stronger episode. I cannot wait. People are saying, because they did screen episode 1 through 3 of The Mandalorian yesterday or 2 days ago, and people are saying, you have no idea what you're going to see in episode 2 and episode 3. It sounds like this is just getting better and better, and I got to give hats off to Jon Favreau, and I got to give hats off to Dave Filoni, who also had a lot to do in this series, because they're knocking it out of the park so far. For a first live-action Star Wars show, this is phenomenal. So there's my review. If I'm going to give it a number out of 5, I'll give it a 4.75 out of 5 stars. I can't give it a 5 quite yet, mostly because it's only 30 minutes. And it also, anything could be improved. Anything can be improved. Nothing's perfect. This was a fantastic episode. I loved it. I can't wait till Friday. That's the one bad thing about Disney Plus, but I love it at the same time, is we have to wait for the next episode rather than watching it all at once, because we would have saw the series as a whole. I loved it. What say you? Did you guys enjoy this episode? Let me know down below. Make sure you check out all the content we have on here. You're going to love it. I swear you will. We have our debate leagues on here. Those will be kicking off again starting next week. We have Movie Battleground. We have Sports Brawl. We have Game Zone. We have late TV fights. We have nerd fights, and also the Choke Slam. So if you're interested in wrestling, video games, movies, nerdy stuff, sports, TV, if you're interested in any of that stuff, comment below, let me know, and we will get you in some way, shape, or form. So thank you all for listening. I've been Matt, and I am apologizing for 10 minutes of content. I did not want that. Take care.